5, 4, 3, 2.
Are you guys ready up there? Okay, just give me a second. Alright. Alright, quiet on the set.
Ow! Peace and blessings of the Most High, the balance, omniverses, multiverses, triverses, duverses, universes be upon you all. Earshot, eye shot of the God. It's your friendly neighborhood Pharaoh, Chef C. Dwamu Tefah Moon, and I am your host for Revision Radio. This is my beautiful co-host,
Nefera and Hatep.
Nefera Tep, and it is our pleasure and honor to bring to you the latest and greatest news from around the world, intergalactic, under the seas, from Shambhala to Plaza Projects. So, coming on our first date of Revision Radio, we want to talk about some basic stuff, some media, maybe some Monique, Black Panther. We're not going to hit you with the heavy stuff, you know. We don't want to scare you away, not just yet. Third episode, bring your helmets and vests. Okay? So to start it off, this Monique situation with Netflix, even though a lot of social media platforms are discussing it, I think a lot of people are missing pieces of it. Okay, we know the basic parts of it. Monique was talking about how they offered her $500,000 to do a special. She was offended. I think she was right to be offended. Amy Schumer got like 11 and then upsold herself for 13 to 15 million, and you know she's super whack. I don't know if anybody's talking about the fact that Chris Rock actually was executive producer of one of her shows, but that's neither here nor there. Point being is that Monique is definitely I think she's right and exact to be complaining, and I think that the black entertainers and even the black populace need to be conscious of what she's really complaining about. She's not really just complaining about herself. It's about the status quo and what's acceptable for as far as downplaying and underpaying black excellence. And we can't sit to tolerate that. We have to move past that. For some reason, it's like, you know, it's like if you complain about what's going on, people like, you know, well, take it. Everybody else would have been happy with that. Like, nah, but
look, Daddy, I tell you that the slaves always wanted to hush up the one person on the plantation that wanted to speak up against, you know, maltreatment or their condition. That's part of that post-traumatic slave disorder, to try to silence the one that's speaking out about something that they're all experiencing. But I'll tell you that, my opinion, the condition of what's going on with Monique and Netflix and them talking about black people within the entertainment industry, from comedians to actors, that it goes past that to the disparity between black economics and Caucasian economics anyway, because you have the same thing within the regular workplace, with unequal pay between Caucasians and black people, and then going even further with unequal pay from black males to black females.
Well, that's the pyramid. The pyramid is WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant males, then their female counterparts, and then really any foreign male or female before you get to the black male, and then you get to the black female. So for Monique to be talking about she demanding more, she wants more to be a part of, they're like, that's because you're a black female. In all honesty, in their culture, more so than not, black females are violated without any kind of justice in this country. You know, if you think about the years that we've been out of oppression, out of slavery, quote unquote, versus the years that we were in slavery, we really haven't gone anywhere. And so a lot of brothers and sisters are kind of spoiled, and they're ignoring the fact of the condition and the current state. And this is a mirror, and what I think Monique is doing is showing a mirror on us. We're looking in the mirror, exposing that you're not what you think you are.
You ain't made it nowhere yet.
You ain't did nothing yet. And two, showing and exposing Netflix hand, because they're looked at as like the saviors that's helping to promote everybody, and really they just using the
same
music.
Status quo as regular Hollywood television. There's no difference. And I'll tell you that all of this is one of the main reasons why I love the relationship between Monique and her husband, and the way that they're working together and supporting each other. Because it's rectifying. You know, I love the black love anyway. You know how we roll. But mainly the fact that it is rectifying the relationship of the black woman being left alone to whatever it is that the white man has for her, and that, you know, that she can't depend on her black man to protect her in that arena.
Hold up, that we said we're not gonna go heavy into the third episode, but that's all Willie Lynch. That's Willie Lynch directions right there.
I mean, think about it. Think about the comment that Monique made in regards to Charlemagne when she was on the Breakfast Club, and talking to him about how, you know, he's holding the position of the black man, the quote unquote slave male that brought his woman to the door for master and his friend's use, you know, and then came back to pick her up afterwards.
No, that was heavy. That hurt my heart. I think
it was. It might have been a low blow.
That was heavy. But I don't think Charlemagne deserved that whole weight.
No,
like that.
Absolutely
but
not.
I understood
where she was coming from with making that statement,
because he called her a donkey of the other day.
Yeah, and here it is. It's she's not a donkey, and we can't. Even if we have certain opinions, we have to learn to protect each other in the eyes of society. You know, we can't just jump on the bandwagon all the time to crucify our own all the time like that, and because of the idea that there's nobody batting for us.
That's a fact.
White people protect each other. You know what I mean? They'll save face and protect each other's name and everything. But where I was going at with Monique and them, and it's like, okay, if you in the field and a master come in and he trying to come and rape you or whatever have you, you know, your man is going to get killed if you do anything. You know what I mean? So we lost our connection to our black man as our protector.
Well, and on a deep level, that's a big cavern of big space, a wedge between black men and black women. That slave culture that we had to adjust to in order to survive through,
which went all the way into modern day society, where back in the day, if you were getting welfare, you couldn't have a man in your house, and
that we never had the opportunity to heal, because they still won't leave us alone,
right? But
to be able to heal.
But what I love about it is that there's pockets of it happening. You look at us. You look at Remy Ma and Papoose. You look at Monique and her husband. You know what I mean? So there's these pockets of this resurrection of that black love that creates, you know, these monumental achievements.
And under the smoke screen of really disregarding Monique and her claim as an excellent comedian and deserving of millions, which she is.
Absolutely.
And even with Whoopi Goldberg and them, and they're shooting at her union with her husband. They missed the point that it's the union that the white media is attacking. It's the union, because if she got rid of her husband, they'll give her millions. And in order to show any other black woman coming behind her, come submitting to us and we're gonna take care of you.
Absolutely.
Back to the Willie Lynch. We're gonna take care of you. But you got this strong black man that's demanding certain things in these boardrooms, and we're not having it. She said herself, she said she was going to certain meetings,
or even if she was with a woman.
No,
if she was with a woman,
they would celebrate.
They would celebrate it.
They would celebrate it, because right now, you know, the idea of black love, of black heterosexual male, black heterosexual female as a union is like a unicorn. This is a rare situation right now. And they actually want to make it extinct. You know, so I just want to applaud that aspect of that black strength, because I see the intimidation game because of the fact that they want her to get rid of her husband as her representative. But he's like, look, this doesn't make any sense. You know, and then Netflix, I didn't like the fact that Netflix even try to play themselves and say, oh, we sent a $3 million offer. They like, where that at? We even took that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't never sent that offer. You're a liar.
It goes back to you can take the situation with Monique and what do they say? Sublimate it onto any situation dealing with us, and you'll see the equation come out true. So when we're talking about Monique, when we're talking, it's using our power the same way we shut down Gods of Egypt. That got no play in movie theaters, not only just in America, but around the globe.
Yeah, white Egyptian gods
around the globe.
Who
and the only
does that?
And the only reason why around the globe it got shut down is because we enacted our power. Don't you see how powerful we are? Don't you see what happens when we are moving as one? You do things like shut down Gods of Egypt and make Black Panther the top rating action Marvel action movie
period
on the planet.
Well, it's like third right now. We're gonna get into Black Panther. She trying to segue.
All right.
Well, I just want to say this.
Her problem is our problem. Our problem is our problem. Like it's not separate. That's my opinion. That's my stance. And that we need to exact
But we have to
power.
pay attention to it. And we have to pay attention to the distractions that throw us away from paying attention to that. Because things happen that deter us and take our attention away from our leverages.
And also the matter of comfortability. The one of the biggest things that happened that took our power away from us is giving us different comfort levels. So if you're going through something, as you know, my African brother and sister on the planet someplace, but I'm good, I'm chilling, I need to make this money to feed my kids, I gotta keep my mortgage up. So they was handing out government jobs that day, so now I can't come and join the revolution and see, even though we're the same person, your problem is not my problem. So that's one of the things that they did to take away that unification, giving us these different classifications. Even though I'm gonna say this one thing about that, as long as we're still in a system where we are depending on someone else for food, shelter, clothing, for monetary gain, someone else that controls that, who doesn't have our best interest at heart, then I can never be a part of the revolution, because I'm always going to be worrying about where my food, shelter, clothing, and economic stability is coming from.
So what you're talking about, first of all, you're talking about divide and conquer. You're talking about a caste system created, divide and conquer. That's a heavy jewel from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, when they was talking about, we marched down 50,000 strong.
On the state capitol building.
On the state capitol. But they was hiring that day. And brothers left for government jobs. And that's why, and that's the same psychological, that's the same tactic that they use in the prisons.
Right.
In the prisons, you have somebody that's sentenced to 50 to life, somebody that got 12 years, somebody that got 5 months, somebody that got 3 years, somebody that got 2 weeks, and they all in the same situation. And the way that the person that got 50 years want to handle a situation is definitely different than the one that got a year. He's not handling that same way.
No, he's trying to go home.
So you can't have an uprising when everybody have different agendas. And what we have to remember is that the problem with us is that we've been groomed and conditioned, socially engineered to be individuals, and we're up against a group of people that have been groomed and conditioned and socially engineered to move as a collective. And moving back, also talking about Monique, you had said something earlier dealing with I wanted to make sure I get this out, dealing with the fact that what's the sister from
Viola Davis.
She was beefing about as far as the rates. We don't know that. We don't go back and test and see the rates of how much the disparity in the payment is. Like when Monique said that almost Christmas situation, how there was $1 million paid to everybody.
No, we see
collectively.
People, we see people on TV. We see people on movies. Okay, we see people on red carpets. We see people at award shows, and we assume that they're making big bucks, that they're making these Hollywood mega millions. We assume that. We don't understand that they're still paying just hundreds of thousands of dollars to our black actors, or giving them movie budgets that's only $2 million, $10 million, and when they're giving white actors $50 million, $20 million to do a spot, and they're giving them budgets for their movies of $100 million, $200 million.
That's a fact. Well, let me tell you this though.
Like what they paid our family, because that's, as black people, that's how we look at it. That's why we call Jay-Z J. That's why we call Beyonce B.
What?
That's why we speak when we
That's
talk
why
about
we say brother Malcolm.
The brother Malcolm.
Of course.
Because we see each other as family.
Yes.
Okay? And when we see what they paid our family members
Here we go.
for Black Panther.
She's about to skip the Black Panther game.
What they paid our
we
family
not
members.
there yet.
What they paid our king, T'Challa. Okay? What they paid him for this phenomenal role that he did, this life-changing, world-famous role that he did, it's appalling.
Well, it's not appalling because they got that money before it made the impact that it did.
True that.
Okay, so but now going into part 2,
they better not.
Things have to be upgraded. And matter of fact, I just read something last night that Marvel, I think Ryan Coogler is actually working on something else, and Marvel is waiting for him.
Yeah. They better.
To do the Black Panther 2.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
So, I'm not talking about Black Panther. You think you slick. Here we go. Brothers, you gotta hold your square. Hold your square. All right? Because they would
listen. He don't control nothing over here. Don't listen.
Anyway, so we talk about Viola Davis because she's beefing about the disparities in the pay. And another thing we have to pay attention to is even with Charlamagne that was talking about Tiffany Haddish and how they said that she qualified to get that money because she had something relevant with the girls trip that they gave them welfare food stamps, and it outsold most of the things that were out there. Like Amy Schumer had the movie, they gave her a bunch of millions and it was a dud, but girls trip was super funny, and Tiffany Haddish now has a special and she's only getting $350,000.
Right. And
maybe 550, maybe 500 something.
Whatever she's getting.
Point being, she ain't getting no millions.
And whatever she's getting right now, she's talking about, listen, I'm happy with this.
Of course she's happy.
Because she was starving. She was a starving artist.
But of course, it's still, it upgrades our pay rate where we're at from the hood. But you have to remember that it's nowhere near where you should be at, what you should be getting.
Like even our girl Cardi B, applaud Cardi right now.
Applaud that crazy heifer.
Applaud her. We love her to death with her crazy self.
Yeah.
And how she did Coachella, which is, listen, you don't just come out. I don't know if you know this or not.
Well, that's her peoples did that.
But you don't just come out as an artist, right? And then all of a sudden you doing Coachella. That don't happen. You gotta pay some dues before you make it to the Coachella stage.
They foreseen her product blowing, and they booked her without her and her people being conscious and getting the right amount of money. So she got Coachella. She got $70,000 per show. She paid over $300,000. She paid over $300,000 for her set.
And that's talking about her dances, the costumes.
Shout out to my bootleg cousin. Shout out to my bootleg cousin, Harlem Hottie. I'm blowing you up, Binky. That did the outfits for Cardi B dances and them over there at Coachella. I seen you over there in Coachella on the Instagram.
Yeah, and Cardi's B people was looking fly. But that's the situation right now. So I remember this writing that I saw on the back of a dorm room door when I was in college. One of the times I was in college.
Okay, you put your business in the street.
Put my business in the street, and I can't quote it verbatim, but I'm gonna give you the gist of it. And it said something like, "They came for the for the Jews, and I said nothing. You know, and they came for the such and such, and I said nothing. Right? And it goes on like this, and names all these different groups of people and said they came for the other such and such, and I said nothing. And then they came for me, and there was nobody left to say anything.
Yeah, it was talking about all the different groups of people. I remember reading
right?
the proverb. It's talking about they came for them over here in that village. They came for them over there. They came for that group. And I ain't said nothing because they had nothing to do with me. And now when they came for me, there was nobody to defend me. I didn't help defend them. They didn't help defend them. And now nobody's here to help defend me. And that's the situation we setting ourselves up for. Because I'm going to show you something else. In addition to the situation with Monique and Viola Davis and Tiffany Haddish, you know, getting underpaid. Now you have 7 Seconds being canceled. One of the highest rated shows on Netflix. And they canceling it. Why are you canceling one of the highest rate? I thought the objective was to get money.
I thought it was to get money.
You see, this and put good content out. But the reality is, we know from when they got rid of the whole Universal Power Network, UPN network, that whole black lineup, when they cut everybody off to make sure none of those black shows got syndicated, we know that it's bigger than just having good content and making money. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we have to chuck up.
Shout out to Mr. Hughley for making UPN what it was.
No, definitely, and you know, and take it on the chin, you know,
and again, Monique
with her show, and Hughley for taking it on the chin when they stole your joint, when they stole your whole concept and gave it to Damon Wayans for My Wife and Kids. You left it alone. That was cool. But don't think we didn't see it. We see what happened. Now, the reality is, man, all of us, we have to keep this in mind. We are the talent. See, it's happening in the music industry now. They grab it for straws. These young brothers, whether they doped up on Percocets or not, they know that they know that they don't need these people for nothing. All they need is social media. See, we didn't
be able to get it to the people.
We didn't have that option back in the days. We had to go through the red tape. We had to go through the Jerry Hellers and all these things that was robbing us. You know what I'm saying? We had to do that. Right now, they don't have to do that. And the movies, soon, they're going to learn. And they're going to start putting their own projects out and just putting it out there to the people. Put it out there to the people.
Support black art. Support black business. It is your salvation to do this. It is not just for the gratification of an individual person. It's gonna make our world, our black world,
collage,
a better place by supporting each other and what you're doing. You know, and if you got a family member, a friend that is an entrepreneur, a small startup business, buy something from the ass.
That's a fact. Stop talking about black businesses. Buy black. Stop saying all them slogans when everything you got on is owned by some white folks. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna end it off with all the shout outs to all the companies. Right. No, but the reality is that, man, we really got to get on a square as far as making our own stuff and putting it out there. Life imitates art, no matter how we like it. People don't like to admit that, but when you hear certain music, and you see certain movies that inspire certain mind states and consciousness, and people go out there and physically changing the world. So right now, by dumbing down and controlling the art, they're dumbing down and controlling the world. So with this free social media streaming platform, this is
the time to put out content in order to help shape the consciousness that's coming
of the planet. And this is like selling music right out the trunk. They don't got no guidelines or nothing right now. By the time they shut it down, most of us should be on the other side of the world in our own vineyard. You know what I'm saying? Recalibrating the planet. That's how serious this is. You know what I'm saying? But
you said we wasn't going to get too heavy for the people.
We're not going to get too heavy for the people. And we about to shift.
But now I want to talk about Black Panther.
I didn't even know what a Black Panther was before the movie came out. Because first of all, ain't no Black Panthers in Africa. Let's get that straight, right? They call it a jaguar. They're jaguars, okay? There ain't no Black Panthers in Africa. So, but that's cool. It's all right. We understand what they was doing.
I love the fact that that Black Panther, like they were so unapologetically and authentically black. Okay, T'Challa, I keep on calling him that. I'm sorry, Mr. Bosman.
I can't pronounce his name.
What's his girlfriend name?
Chadwick
Boseman. King T'Challa.
That's a very strange name, beloved. I'm not
Chadwick.
Well, it's a beautiful name.
Spiderwick.
You do know martial arts. Proud to people.
Don't you talk wrong about that, man. But yes, he had mentioned how they actually came to him and wanted him to use a British accent as
That's the first thing you want to talk about.
Yes, it is. As King T'Challa of this untouched. You hear what I'm saying? This untouched African kingdom, unmolested, unpolluted, and they're talking about this is black excellence without any infiltration molestation from the colonizers. And you want him to talk with an English accent.
Well, the Queen of England is 100 trillionaire, and they got Superman grandfather talking in a British accent on Krypton. You damn right. They want T'Challa.
I was very upset about
they
that.
They want T'Challa to talk in a British accent.
But I love it how they stuck to their guns, and it's like they did the research, they did the study. You know what I mean? They formed this Bible for the making of Black Panther,
500 pages,
which I want a copy of. I think that everybody should have a copy of it.
I don't think everybody should have a copy. I think we should get a copy first, and all y'all just keep moving on, acting like nothing happened.
When they're sitting there saying, "Oh, see," and you say, "Oh, see," and they was doing that click language. They was that stuff from South Africa.
Hold up, let's forget. That the language that you seen written.
Talk about it.
Is Lahajna. Our language.
Talk about it.
Nuwapuyi Lahaj. That is the Nuwapuyi language. That is going back to Moro and Napata. That's our
Sabian
script and our language. And you can find that presently being spoken right now by the Nuwapian nation.
Okay, we're going to touch on the language real quick and just speak about the idea that language helps to, like the English language, us speaking the language keeps us finite within the realm of where
the English
the Kakasu has been able to go. Okay? And if you look throughout history, that's not very far. But if we get back into our original tones, it opens our minds up to where we are able to go.
I said third episode.
Sorry.
People.
You're right. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this pyramid on the wall, and I just started, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say this.
They gotta bring their helmets
I'm going to say this
and their vests.
Okay? Everybody always looks at ancient Egypt or the ancient Sudan, you know what I'm saying? Or even the ancient monuments that are in South America and also in North America, but around the southern borders. And they're always talking about our ancient cultures and how they declined and how they fell and where are they at now and how come we can't do those things now. And the key and the secret is in the language. All right, I'm going to stop.
Well, just continuing that just briefly. The language is the revolution, because every language is its own tone and frequency, and the brain capacity to process that language belongs to the people that are speaking it. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave that where it's at.
We're gonna get back to King T'Challa.
We're gonna talk about first and foremost how the brother Chadwick really was selected by Hollywood to play every black person that ever lived on the earth,
and he knows that.
And he had to turn down being Webster. He had to turn down doing a Different Strokes recap. He had to turn down being Michael Jordan. He had to turn down being Bill Cosby. They wanted that gonna be everybody.
My husband is
and he was the only black god that made the cut in Gods of Egypt.
And loved him for that role.
And he was Tahuti.
He was the smartest nigga there. Even
though he really was just James Brown with Muslim robes.
Yes, he was.
That's really what he with Egyptian garbs. I want to say Muslim robes because Egypt, our culture existed before the Islamic culture. But point being,
Shout out to Chadwick.
We want to shout out the whole cast of Black Panther.
Listen, I just want to talk about
Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. The whole, and what
all
y'all
of
did.
Our sisters that stepped up for their roles.
Can't pronounce your names. We love you. That's a fact. You gonna try to mess it up. She looking like she gonna try.
But you can very easily say Miss Angela Bassett.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, all of the sisters. Period. Everybody involved. The Jabari crew. Yo, just for the fact that was actually my role, man. My brother from down here over here in Nostrand in Brooklyn.
It down to,
I couldn't go that day.
To Atlanta to the.
I couldn't go,
casting.
man. That was crazy. That was my role. Ooh.
But,
we have sent. In the mountains. Oh man, beloved, that was my role,
But I'm gonna tell you that I loved how they portrayed our sisters as intelligent, as loyal, as fierce, as creative, as strong, as beautiful. I mean, like every single female,
as black, as African, basically,
as we are, and as we should be. Again. Unmolested. Like I always talk about us being interrupted. Like we were interrupted, and we don't even understand what freedom looks like.
First of all, freedom is a theoretical concept that only is experienced by Europeans on the planet.
Right.
It's a theoretical concept by every other person, every other race. It's only an illusion.
So if anybody doesn't understand, that was our first look at freedom. That was when you're able to execute your thoughts, your spirituality, your economics, your food, the way that you dress.
Agency is the word that they use in academia. Your agency. You're able to move according to how you want to move.
So that's what Black Panther was.
And yes, granted, it's a white. It's a European created character. It's a fictitious character. But what we did with that fictitious character and the concept was as real as you and me. And what it does psychologically for the shift of the people was as real as what Obama did for the shift of the people psychologically. Because Obama was just a concept also. He was in office. This personal opinion, as far as I'm concerned, didn't do anything for so-called black people in America, but inspire us to know that we can get into the office. But he personally didn't do anything. I mean, he did stuff for the LGBT community. I mean, power to the people. He did something for, a lot of foreigners, the Hispanic people coming over here. But he didn't do anything specifically for so-called black people, except for him being black and letting our babies know that he had hair like this. And that was psychologically big and significant for the cycle of time that we're in.
And what they did was take this white created character, this concept that was created by white people, and they put it in the hands of some extremely intelligent, extremely creative, unapologetically blacks.
And we applaud.
And we applaud them and we love them dearly. And what they did
Seen it 5 times.
And what they did was they put out a message, and it was so much of a message that you had some Caucasians that was like, it's not our turn to see Black Panther yet.
They did. They was like that. I mean, listen, like
let them have this. This is for them.
The revolution will be televised.
Right. We love our brother for making the song, but he was wrong.
Like, it will be, because it's everywhere. And everything we do is on social media.
If you see me in trouble or in duress outside, do not just take out your phone and record me. Okay? Come help a sister out. Freedom to the people. We can do this shit together. Don't let no police hurt me. What's wrong with y'all?
I mean, brother, y'all can run down a block. I mean, if you not go bare arms right then and there, you can run down a block and shoot the gun in the air to get the niggas off of people. You know what I'm saying? You can create a disturbance to bring their attention someplace else. But listen, I mean, that's neither here nor there. That Black Panther movie was phenomenal.
Dora Milaje.
It was a lot of like the matriarch standing. The fact that the leader couldn't lead without a council. It's not just a I, me situation.
Which is all part of our African culture, our African tradition, and the way that we conducted ourselves amongst ourselves by ourselves.
A lot of people had a problem with the so-called, they say, oh, black on black crime. Well, what happens is when you're in a homogenous community and country and
explain
system.
for those who don't know what homogenous.
Well, homo or homo means
Same.
That's it, man. You see the homogenous and genes. You basically have the same genes, the same genome. You're the only person. Like in Asia, most of the crimes are Asian against Asians because they're in a homogenous system. And Spain, Spaniard against Spaniard because they're in a homogenous system.
And you see how ain't nobody talking about that?
Yeah,
I'll tell you why. It's because the idea of black on black crime is used as a defense by white people for their abuse and violence against blacks.
To justify
their
violence.
abuse. Well, y'all look at what y'all do to each other.
Look,
so you can't, and it's a smokescreen. It's the deflection device.
Of course,
in order to take the attention off of them and the bullshit that they do. So, am I worried about what problems I'm getting into with Angelique or Raheem down the street when I got Bob, the officer, who just pulled me over because one of my taillights is out, even though he smacked the shit on the way walking to my car? You know what I'm saying? And then wind up, I'm reaching for my ID, and now I got 5 bullets holes in me. So what are we talking about here?
Well, what we're talking about is another sense of denial of the real world that we live in. And the fact that we think we went somewhere, when economically, if you look at the records, post-slavery, we controlled half of 1% of the economics in this country. Right now, we control half of 1% of the economics in this country. That's the problem. We are not paying attention, and we're not reconnecting to the African diaspora, where we become a part of the whole with the natural resources.
Shout out to Jadena with his Make Africa Great Again campaign.
Well, Make Africa Great Again. Shout out to Akon with all he's doing in Africa. Shout out to all the brothers that
Shout out to Little John for what he's doing out there in Africa.
I mean, if you have 50, you have Jay, you have a bunch of people, but more importantly, I want to shout out the people.
That nigga French Montana that's really African. Shout out to that light skinned nigga right there.
Yeah, that high yellow nigga. He's definitely African on a like kind of Arab African, but he crossed the border. And the reality is, I want to shout out to all the people that's repatriating to Africa, that's expatriating from the United States and repatriating to Africa.
An option. You have an option. We don't got to stay here. We don't got to deal with this. And now we can have international economics. We don't have to deal with the shit no more. And we can become bigger and better than our ancestors ever were, because we stand on the shoulders of giants.
That's a fact. Now, we're going too far.
We're going too far, Star.
Going back
You're
to
going too far,
Wakanda.
I want to talk about the brother that they call Killmonger, even though I don't particularly like calling him by that name. I don't like that name.
Well, that's the name he used when he was in the military.
Because of the hatred and the hurt. More so the hurt that he had built up inside of him, that the Caucasians were able to tap into because of being left, because of his father being killed and everything, and that isolation and abandonment, and them being able to feed into that in order for him to use his pain for their own purposes of murder, death, kill.
Okay, yeah, I could dig that. And him not having access to communicate with anybody to tell him anything outside of notes that he was left in his father's journal.
Now, what do you think about the idea that everybody is praising Killmonger for his stance with coming after coming after Wakanda by associating and assisting the Kakasu, and then coming for T'Challa's throne?
First and foremost, Killmonger's movements are an extension of his father's. All right, and his father was wrong. No matter how you, yes, it would be official to have vibranium and to have the powers that they had inside of Wakanda to help the brothers and sisters worldwide to fight a battle against enemies that are oppressing them. But if the way to do that is to partner up with the same enemy that this enemy who considered you a savage, right? Who killed a bunch of Wakandans while he was getting the vibranium that you set him up to get. If that's the way to do that, then you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's where Killmonger, he was wrong in that capacity. Because he literally said, we're going to burn it all down. We're going to create anarchy. We're going to create chaos. That was wrong.
And it definitely wasn't the Wakandan way, because if you see that they're dealing with the goddess Bast, okay, then that means that they're dealing with our ancient structure of deityship, which, so then this idea of anarchy and burning it all down goes against Ma'at.
Well, but it doesn't go against United States military training.
Right.
His job, he was trained to go into governments and create civil unrest and destroy the government at the core.
Which we know has happened many times
So,
before.
well, you could go back with a reference to Confessions of Economic Hitman. Go look that book up.
Shout out to Gaddafi.
Go read that book and that'll break down how this is something that's been going on since the 40s with the United States government sending out people to countries to destroy them out their core politically, economically, militarily, strip them of the natural resources, and cripple them from internally.
Again, never giving us an opportunity to affect ourselves and see ourselves and what we would become without their intervention and molestation.
Well, we're not just stripped. We weren't just stripped, but we also have been policed since then. Okay, to make sure that we don't come together with a unified mind. Now, back to the brother Killmonger. Is a lot of brothers and sisters are going to disagree because they think they represent a revolutionary mind state. They think he represented a revolutionary mind state. But what he represented was an extension of the slave master's mind state. He became the slave master's child. And a lot of us, if we ask and do a survey, okay, you wake up in the morning and say, let's say the white folks don't control nothing no more. We control all the resources, all the military. We control everything. What do we do with our past oppressors? And 99.9% of the answers is going to be exactly what a white person would say today. You see? Because if you, most oppressed people, once they uprise and revolt and take over, they repeat the movements of the oppressor. Because mentally, genetically,
they have now become like
they
them.
become them. And us, as 400 years of being oppressed, indoctrinated, socially engineered, coming from an African,
genetically changed and altered,
coming from being an African to a Franken Negropean, okay?
Franken Negropean. You heard it here first.
Okay.
Revisionist radio.
Frankenstein Negropean. That's what we become. So you only think, move, breathe, act, imagine as your master. And matter of fact, moving outside of his ways of thinking, his spirituality, his culture is the first and only decision you've ever made in your life, if you were able to do that. And most of us have not been able to do that because we fear. And fear is his biggest prison. You know, so we want to give strong shout outs to the Wakandan cast. We're going to build on Wakanda again in the next episode. We don't want to go too hard. Well, we went all kinds of places. But Wakanda has a very significant meaning also. I've learned, like Native American, they actually is like a spirit force of completion and perfection and protection also in Native American cultures. So like it's bigger than just what they created, because let me say this, a lot of things they don't create, they get from other places. We got to remember that, you know. So we definitely we watching you. Oh, before we end this episode of Revision Radio, I wanna blow up what's the dude that play Iron Man? What's the
Why I can't think of his name all of a sudden?
He sound like the old white dude that used to do the talk show. What's the dude that do Iron Man?
I can't even think about anybody but King T'Challa.
King T'Challa.
I know we talking about the guy that played Iron Man. Y'all know who we talk about. I forgot his name off the top of my head.
I'm gonna
right
give
now.
his name next.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, right, Robert
There
Downey
you
Jr.
go.
Because I was thinking Martin Downey Jr.
Yeah,
Is that his father?
I have no idea.
That's his father.
Okay.
I said it. Anyway, Robert Downey Jr.
Trinity
is a hater. He petitioned Marvel Studios to release the Infinity Wars 2 to 3 weeks earlier in order to stop the flow in sales and attention of Black Panther. Now that's some real hating shit.
That's some real hating shit.
That's some real.
And like somebody else said, where is all of the Black Panther merchandise, the book bags, the lunch boxes, the playing cards, all of the dolls? Like there's so much that, like, why isn't it on T-shirts and everything? Like,
Yeah, they missed that, Marvel. That's a whole nother $1 billion that y'all missed out on.
Just because they mad.
That's crazy.
It's like this goes right back again into that 7 seconds.
And that's Disney. And Disney put that ugly ass Sleeping Beauty out.
Made that thing.
What's that heifer name?
Oh my goodness! Hermione.
Hermione.
That's not her real name. That was her character name from Harry Potter.
With the Jay Leno chin.
But
she had the Mac tonight.
It was disgusting. Like you got the nerve to be called. I don't know which one is Beauty and which one is the Beast. Y'all seen that doll before they edited it?
The package was called Beast of the Beast. Hey, Beauty.
The first doll they put out for her, because it was so lifelike.
It was so.
They had to pull it off of the shelves
She
because
was
of how ugly it was.
She looked like she just finished wrestling. Yo, she had the big Jay Little chin. Her forehead was. You could see the Anyway, but they put them dolls out in drones. They banned them dolls. She was washed up. I was like, look at this ugly doll they try to sell people. But what that is the people being proud of, how they look. And
so I'm saying demand the image. Don't go out there. Don't buy no Iron Man. Don't buy no Hulk costumes or nothing like that for your kids. Support the image. And if it's not dealing with the Black Panther, leave that thing alone. Let them know that we are demanding to see ourselves. We are demanding ourselves. We don't want you no more. It's a forced relationship, and you just be okay with it. We don't want it no more. We want to deal with ourselves.
And let this be a transitional situation where we transition to creating our own platforms, and like they have Bollywood for the Hindi, and they have Nollywood, the brothers over there in Nigeria. Let us now start to create our own platforms where we could put our own stuff out, I mean, we do the best. It's the best we could do. Yo, this is your host again, Pharaoh Shepsi's Dwamu Tefamoon, and my beautiful co-host,
Nefarious and Hintap.
Big Head Nefarious Hintap. And we want to thank y'all for coming and checking out Revenge the Radio. This is definitely sponsored by Natural Nature.
Natural Nature.
Herbal Compounds. Go to naturalnatureherbs.com. That's right. Or check me out at www.pharaohrising.com. They say don't say www no more because everybody know what it is, but it's the force of habit. Check us out, We're going to see you what's the next show going to be about?
The next show is going to be about
something.
Cut me off.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say the next show is going to be about the new black.
Oh, we're going to go. I said the third show. Trauma. All right, anyway. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Y'all stay up. Stay focused. What I do.